Hello everybody, my name is Ray. Welcome to the Evangelical Dark Web. Today we got two stories to talk about. One is that Donald Trump is skipping the Family Leadership Summit, which is the most politically influential Christian conference in the United States. This is the most influential Christian political conference in the United States. Donald Trump is skipping it. That's a major story as it relates to the 2024 primary election. We're going to talk about that and why. And then the Southern Baptist Convention is preparing its race narrative on the issue of female pastors ahead of the 2024 convention. So both these stories have the common thread of being very important in 2024. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I want you to know Evangelical Dark Web is a Christian news gathering and commentary ministry. You can support us over at evangelicaldarkweb.org/join. That is linked in the description below. That's our Patreon-like system. But the least you can do is like this video, subscribe to the channel or podcast if you are new, and check out that free Evangelical Dark Web newsletter linked in the description below. Also, that gives you Christian news in your inbox each and every day, bypassing big tech censorship. So, we got two stories to talk about. First story we're going to talk about is Donald Trump skipping the Family Leadership Summit. So this is the most influential political conference that Christians put on every year. And it's called the Family Leadership Summit. It's hosted in Iowa every year. The family leaders an organization with the mission of advancing, and this is a quote, Christ-like leadership in the home, the church, and the government. As Iowa is the first in the nation caucus state, the family leader has leveraged Iowa's significance to become the main attraction for would-be presidential hopefuls. Donald Trump has spoken at the event in the past. Yet going into 2024 presidential cycle, Trump has decided to forego the event. And this is shaping up to be the biggest family leadership summit yet. Blaze Media announced this week that they would be covering the event. On Monday, it was clear that Trump would not be in attendance on the July 14 event. So this is this Friday. Bob Vanderplas tweeted, I learned last night that Donald Trump will not attend our leadership summit this Friday. Thus, our lineup is set at Tim Scott, Asa Hutchinson, Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Ron DeSantis. We'll have the visionary one-on-one discussion with Tucker Carlson. So that is a major opportunity for Trump that he's going to miss out on. And more importantly, because this is what this is about. This isn't really about Trump. This isn't as much about the presidential race. This is about evangelicals as a voting bloc. This is the most important part of the story. Evangelical voting bloc. And Iowa is very conducive to this voting bloc in the primary cycle. And to me, I think the issue here is that Trump is disrespecting this voting bloc in Iowa, which could come back to haunt him. This is a strategic blunder by Trump, and I say that objectively. Whatever any of our opinions are on Trump versus DeSantis versus the field, this is an unwise action by Donald Trump. And it also signals that Trump may skip out on the presidential primary debate that occurs next month, which I really do not want Trump to do that, which I think would also be strategically unwise. Because if he skips out on the first debate and then shows up to, say, the second or third debate, then he looks bad for doing that. So Trump needs to actually get in the game on these presidential campaign events. And it seems like he's having a lot of blunders in the state of Iowa in particular. However, it would be unfair not to note this. Trump is headlining the Turning Point Action Conference in West Palm Beach, Florida. This conference will take place July 15 and 16, Saturday and Sunday, causing a slight scheduling conflict. However, Tucker Carlson, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Asa Hutchinson will all be there, along with some presidential candidates not invited to the Family Leadership Summit, like Perry Noble and Francis Suarez. So that's important to note. It would be unfair not to note that there's a potential scheduling conflict, but at the same time, 3 of the people speaking at the Leadership Summit are also speaking at this conference, which kind of renders that null and void. However, it would also be unfair not to note Ron DeSantis is not speaking at the Turning Point event. Why isn't he doing that? I don't know. Is that a strategic blunder? Could be. Might be more tactical. I think Donald Trump skipping the Family Leadership Summit, bad move. Bad move on Trump's part. Even if he is up ahead this early in the race, that's a bad move that won't look good 6 months from now. It just won't. The Family Leadership Summit is an event where candidates court the evangelical base. So Trump's absence is noteworthy. This is paired with an attack on Governor Kim Reynolds. Kim Reynolds is very popular in the state of Iowa. This is not a good move by Trump to attack her for neutrality. And Bob Vanderplaat says Forrest Gump says stupid is as stupid does. My mom says don't call anyone stupid, so I won't. However, this isn't smart. Iowa's wide open. Hashtag choose well 2024. And Donald Trump put out a message on Truth Social, which means more people saw this on Twitter. He says, I love Iowa, protected and expanded ethanol, and got $28 billion from China for our great farmers, ended the estate death tax on farms, made the best trade deals in history, USMCA, China, and many more, introduced the world to our farmers, and kept Iowa's first in the nation status. I opened the governor's position for Kim Reynolds, and when she fell behind, I endorsed her, did big rallies, and she won. Now she wants to remain neutral. I don't invite her to events. DeSantis down 45 points. That's not a good move by Donald Trump. That was not a good move. To go on the offensive against Kim Reynolds, a very popular governor of Iowa, and I don't think the election part, his endorsement carried her race in 2018. I don't think that carried that at all. I think she's just been a strong candidate, and she's turned out to be less of a rhino than she had any right to be honest. Iowa is wide open in 6 months if this keeps up, and that's how I end the article. Again, I want us all to be friends on this issue because we just got to be adults about this conversation regarding Trump. So let's be adults about this, because I'm very involved in Republican politics locally. And again, I want to see iron sharpen iron in this context. So that's what I want. So SBC prepares the narrative over black churches and female pastors. So we're going to talk about this. It's the major accomplishment over the passage of the Mike Law Amendment, which would specify in the Southern Baptist Convention Constitution that churches with female pastors would not be in friendly cooperation with the Southern Baptist Convention, is going to be a heated battle after it passed in 2023. It will need to be ratified in 2024 to be enacted. But already the fight over doctrinal purity is being framed as racism by liberals in the SBC. Gregory Perkins has claimed that 4,000 black churches will be forced out of the convention upon the passage of the amendment. The math adds up to this being around 9% of the churches in the SBC. Gregory Perkins is a pastor and is president of the National African American Fellowship, or NAF. Bart Barber has arranged a meeting to discuss Perkins' concerns. He tweeted out, our sister SBC churches in the NAF have asked us for a season of prayer and dialogue. What a Christ-honoring biblical way to approach decisions when fellow believers want to find common ground and make decisions together! ! I honor and value these partners in the work of the gospel. I will make sure that the entire SBC family has ample opportunity for prayer and dialogue throughout the coming year leading up to our meeting next June in Indianapolis. Indeed, I plan to see many of our NAF leaders next week in Asheville, North Carolina, where I trust that we will make a healthy start in both prayer and fruitful conversation with one another. So that's the tweet by Bart Barber, president of the SBC, who crushed his re-election, as I said he would. And what's interesting about this story is that the Washington Times wrote a very favorable article in favor of Bart Barber and Gregory Perkins. I thought that was very fluffy on their part in covering their side of the story. They didn't really have an opposing viewpoint. And then here's just some more added context. The consequences of purging the liberal churches in the SBC might result in a whiter convention. It might also make conservatives more electable at the national convention. You take away 9% of the most liberal churches in the SBC, someone like a Mike Stone, okay, that's a joke. Someone like a Tom Askell might be able to win. In any case, the race narrative is being set. This could cause leaders like Al Mohler to buckle on this issue. After all, Al Mohler is woke on race, by the way. The momentum is in the conservative direction, and the race narrative is the best card the liberals have. It will be interesting to see how many Southern Baptists still care about being called racist, especially after they endorsed critical race theory in 2019 via Resolution 9 and doubled down again on it in 2021. So, those are your evangelical news updates. Hope this was informative. My name's Ray. This is the Evangelical Dark Web. If you like this channel, again, subscribe. And leave a comment below about what you think about what I think. I love the political stuff more than I love the theological stuff, to be honest. Like, I'm more of a political junkie than a Theo bro. But I am a Theo bro. So anyway, let me know what you think about what I think. Have a blessed day. We will catch you on the next one.